Good morning and welcome. For those of you I have not had the pleasure to meet, I'm Prabhat Hajela, Provost at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm pleased you have joined us today at the President's State of the Institute Address and the National Medal Laureate Symposium entitled Creative Connections, Transformative Innovations. It is my great pleasure to introduce the 18th President of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, who I'm proud to say was recently awarded the National Medal of Science by President Barack Obama, our nation's highest honor for contributions in science and engineering. More recently, she joined dignitaries like President Obama, former Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, Congressman John Lewis, and creative influencers like Stevie Wonder in the dedication ceremony of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Since 1999, Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson has led an extraordinary transformation of Rensselaer. Her tenure has been marked by a more than tripling of applications in the freshman class, a tripling of sponsored research awards and expenditures, and the hiring of over 356 new tenure and tenure-track faculty members. Also, our advances in curriculum, an increase in scholarships, the growth of undergraduate research, and bold innovations in student life, including the award-winning first-year experience and clustered learning, advocacy, and support for students or class. Described by Time magazine as, and I quote, perhaps the ultimate role model for women in science, end quote, Dr. Jackson, a theoretical physicist, has had a distinguished career that includes senior leadership positions in academia, government, industry, and research. In 2014, President Barack Obama appointed Dr. Jackson as co-chair of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, which assesses issues pertaining to the quality, quantity, and adequacy of intelligence activities. From 2009 to 2014, Dr. Jackson served on the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, or PCAST. Dr. Jackson currently serves on the U.S. Secretary of State's International Security Advisory Board and the U.S. Secretary of Energy Advisory Board. Before assuming the leadership of Rensselaer, Dr. Jackson was chairman of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission from 1995 to 1999, appointed in that position by President William Jefferson Clinton. Dr. Jackson holds a Bachelor of Science in Physics and a Ph.D. in Theoretical Elementary Particle Physics, both from MIT, where she was the first African-American woman to receive a doctorate in any field. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Shirley Ann Jackson, the 18th President of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Well, thank you, Prabhat. Good morning and welcome, everyone. You know, with the lights, I can't see you, but I'm waving at you. Now, I am hoping that reunion and homecoming weekend has been delightful for all of you so far, and that our visiting alumni and alumnae are rekindling old friendships, making new connections, generating transformative ideas, and since they're Rensselaer graduates, plotting world domination. Of the most positive sort, of course. Right? Now, today we are in for a real treat. We welcome three guests whose inventions and innovations have indeed taken over the world and reshaped our lives for the better. We will have with us, and I'll give more complete introductions in a little bit. We have with us Dr. Marcy and Ted Hoff of the class of 1958, whose conception of the microprocessor made possible the personal computer revolution, the internet revolution, and frankly, the entire universe of smart devices at our disposal. We also have Mr. Stephen J. Sasson of the class of 1972, who invented the digital camera that gave those devices eyes, and Dr. B. Jayant Balaga, who through the insulated gate bipolar transistor has helped ensure that the increasingly advanced tools we rely upon for everything from transportation to lighting to medicine are not ruinous in terms of their energy costs, but as efficient as possible. But that's not all that device did. Now, all three of them earned degrees in electrical engineering at Rensselaer. Alas, I started in electrical engineering and switched to physics. And all three of them are laureates of the National Medal of Technology and Innovation, the nation's highest honor for technological achievement, bestowed by the President of the United States on the leading innovators in our nation. Now, I will introduce them more fully shortly, but first, I will offer a bit of a state of the Institute so that our alumni and alumnae can learn how we are making the education that has undergirded this audience full of remarkable people even more remarkable. Since each of our national medalists devised their world-altering innovations while working in industry at iconic companies, I will begin today by quoting another icon of industry, Steve Jobs. Creativity, Jobs said, is just connecting things. He continued, when you ask creative people how they did something, they just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while. That is because they were able to connect experiences they have had and synthesize new things. That's what he said. Now, the question for Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute is, how do we encourage such just connecting of things, whether of concepts or people or digital elements, among our faculty, staff, community, and above all, among those students it is our privilege to educate? Now, we begin with a vision for Rensselaer itself that is predicated on potentiating such linkages. We have embraced our history as a polytechnic, or a school of many arts. At the same time, we have recast our educational approach within a paradigm we call the New Polytechnic. Now, this paradigm is animated by two factors. First, the advent of powerful new tools of understanding in fields such as high performance and cognitive computing, data analytics, and genomics, whose usefulness spans many different fields of endeavor. Second, contemporary challenges, such as a changing climate and new and not well understood diseases, such as Zika and Ebola, which are global, complex, and interconnected. Such opportunities and challenges demand broad-based collaborations across disciplines, sectors, even geographic regions. And as the New Polytechnic, we have structured Rensselaer as a great crossroads for such collaborations. Now, as you just heard from our provost, fundamental to this vision has been the hiring of over 350 new tenured and tenure-track faculty members in our signature thrust areas, promising areas of multidisciplinary research that are of fundamental importance in the 21st century, including computational science and engineering, biotechnology and the life sciences, nanotechnology and advanced materials, energy, the environment, and smart systems, and media, the arts, science, and technology. Now, these investments have elevated our profile as a major technological research university and strengthened our undergraduate and graduate curricula with new degree programs and new academic concentrations and new activities in all 5 of our schools. In the School of Science, they include a new concentration in neuroscience and a doctoral program in biochemistry and biophysics. In the School of Engineering, in our Manufacturing Innovation Learning Laboratory, or the MIL, we are enabling our students to learn about and to use exciting new manufacturing technologies that include 3D printing, advanced robotics, and advanced composites. In humanities, arts, and social sciences, these include both undergraduate and graduate degree programs in cognitive science, a master's program in human-computer interaction, a doctoral program in the electronic arts, as well as our superb undergraduate programs in games and simulation, arts and sciences, in design, innovation, and society, and in sustainability studies. In fact, we are developing a new Bachelor of Science degree in music with a strong technological focus, but in music. Stay tuned. And we have changed our focus in economics to reflect what we do best here, to make it more quantitative as well as behaviorally focused. In the Lally School of Management, we have new Master of Science degree programs in technology commercialization and entrepreneurship, in quantitative finance and risk analytics, in supply chain management, and in business analytics. And we have an accounting concentration in the undergraduate program. In the School of Architecture, ranked 15 in the country by Design Intelligence, there is a renewed focus on building science and unique sustainable design programs emanating from the Center for Architecture, Science, and Ecology, or CASE. And this is but a small snapshot of much that is going on in our schools. We also have enabled broad-based collaborations through multidisciplinary platforms and initiatives, such as our Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies, and the Rensselaer Institute for Data Exploration and Applications, or as we call it, the Rensselaer Idea, as well as through particular projects such as the Jefferson Project at Lake George. The Jefferson Project is using Lake George as a model for a new science and big data-based paradigm for freshwater conservation and overall environmental sustainability. This model is based on enormous amounts of streaming observational data provided by 41 sensor platforms, which include weather stations, tributary stations, floating vertical profilers, and sonar-based current monitors, some of them invented just for this purpose. It incorporates as well sophisticated data analytics, data visualization, computationally based modeling and simulation, and experimentation that allows us to test and confirm our hypotheses, experiments that are both lake-based and land-based. The fruitful collaborations the Jefferson Project has inspired among biologists, earth and environmental scientists, data scientists, computer scientists, engineers of all stripes, artists, environmental advocates, and IBM researchers have made Rensselaer a leader in the study of freshwater resources. And given the crisis of water contamination we are seeing in places such as Flint, Michigan, and even nearby here in Hoosick Falls, New York, as well as persistent, devastating droughts around the world, this work is urgent indeed. Now, of course, when policymakers, scientists, engineers, and leaders in industry tackle complex biogeochemical systems, such as the hydrological cycle or the carbon cycle, and their intersection with social systems, the difficulties of making good decisions are daunting. Now, at Rensselaer, we focus not just on the great global challenges, but also on those tools that enable people to come together to address them. In another cross-disciplinary and cross-sectoral collaboration, our Cognitive and Immersive Systems Laboratory, or CISL, at Impact, the tools promise to be absolutely astonishing. CISL is bringing together Rensselaer and IBM research in high-performance, neuromorphic, and cognitive computing, in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and human cognition, with research in computer vision, acoustic, haptics, and immersive technologies of all kinds. The goal is to create situations rooms that bridge human perception with intelligent systems in an immersive, interactive setting, enabling environments such as a cognitive design studio, a cognitive boardroom, a cognitive medical diagnosis room, or a cognitive classroom. Now, these are rooms that will see, hear, anticipate, and inform their occupants in multiple modes with the goal of vastly enhancing group decision-making and learning. Now, as the new Polytechnic, we always intend and are transformative, not just in our research, but in our innovative pedagogy as well. and especially in the lives of our students, where we touch them directly. Many of our pedagogical innovations arise directly out of Rensselaer research in fields such as data analytics, gamification, immersive technologies, and artificial intelligence. Now, we have an institute-wide pedagogical approach which recognizes the power of big data. It's called data analytics through undergraduate mathematics, or DATAM. In just one instance of the power of such instruction, last year, a group of DATAM students created a model of the emergence of different layers of the cerebral cortex in a human embryo, and then combined this with data about brain diseases. Their work yielded an unexpected insight into the stage of brain development at which the Zika virus causes its damage in unborn babies, a hypothesis that was subsequently strengthened by experiments on neural stem cells. Another prime example is a work in progress, the Mandarin Project, a class that we have developed and continue to develop to teach the Mandarin Chinese language and culture. The class engages students by making them players in a semester-long group game narrative and uses mixed reality immersive environments that recreate the experience of, for example, the Beijing airport or a Chinese tea house for cultural immersion. Interactions with artificially intelligent characters will compel our students to use their language skills resourcefully. So come next year for reunion and homecoming, and we'll show it to you. Indeed, we find that our students learn more quickly with this approach, already with the gamification, already with the partial immersion, and it's being extended with the interaction with the artificially intelligent characters. And we intend to expand this to other courses as well, certainly other language courses, but other learning in other disciplines as well. But we were very deliberate in beginning this class with language, and an attempt to answer the thorny question: how do we immerse students in a new culture without or before we immediately pack them off in an airplane? Now, in a world in which our students will be expected to collaborate across geographies as well as disciplines and sectors, we consider it crucially important that they develop the creative connections that are cultural as well as idea-driven. Now, we now are into our second year of another unique pedagogical innovation, ArtX at Rensselaer, which is designed to help our students to see, to understand, and ultimately to use the science in and of art and the art in and of science, and to explore the ideas that connect art, science, and technology. Although we do intend for all of our students to appreciate art in all of its forms, ArtX is about helping all of our students acquire a new vocabulary for creativity. And our wonderful faculty, in fact, have infused it throughout the curriculum. For example, in the capstone design class, taken by seniors in all engineering disciplines, students now address not just considerations such as function, budget, safety, and performance, but also aesthetics and its relationship with and sometimes conflict with other considerations. Now, ArtX does advance art appreciation and understanding and has become an important part of the student experience outside the classroom. For example, we encourage students to take full advantage of the productions developed and presented here at Impact, one of the most advanced performing arts venues in the world, which draws remarkable artists from around the world. A new program called Impact Plus offers free tickets to all Impact curated events to students who enroll, because we think it's a gift that may well change their lives. So if you look at the sum of what we're doing in the arts, as well as with our intended new music degree, this is astounding for this great technological research university, for any, we would claim. Now, designed to truly develop intellectual agility, multicultural sophistication, and a global view, is in fact our most transformative teaching innovation, the Summer Arch, because it is in fact built on a restructuring of the academic calendar. Now, through the Summer Arch, students will remain here on the Troy campus after their sophomore year for a full summer semester, which will be a full real semester, of junior level courses. That's when they will in fact begin their junior year. They then will spend one semester of the traditional junior academic year away from campus, preferably abroad, pursuing a project perfectly aligned with their interests, but still graduate within the typical time period. We will be piloting the Summer Arch over the next 2 summers before making it a required academic experience for all of our undergraduates in the summer of 2019. Now, we expect both peers of the Summer Arch to benefit our students greatly. During their summer here on the campus, they will profit from the focused attention of our faculty and student life staff at a key point in their educational careers before they pivot to advanced classes. They will also take advantage of unique cultural, environmental, and professional experiences only available in this region during the summer. Then during their away semester, Rensselaer juniors will do a co-op or internship, research, volunteering, or launching an entrepreneurial business, or some thrilling combination of all of those. Again, we will strongly encourage and facilitate their going abroad. You know, we do this for very important reasons. In the context of the Summer Arch, a key outcome that we seek in our graduates is a greater appreciation and understanding of the global environment in which their careers will unfold. Immersion and day-to-day interactions in vastly different socioeconomic and multicultural settings are essential for such learning and are only possible if one lives and works in these environments. Our faculty and my own leadership team, in fact, are leading the way. Just this past year, faculty members, deans, and members of my cabinet have visited countries in Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, and the Middle East to pursue partnerships. In fact, our provost is a delegate in Project Exchange, a program that brings leaders from various fields, such as government, media, and academia, to Israel to promote new agreements and bilateral cooperation programs. Now, Rensselaer welcomes and hosts students and scholars from almost all corners of the globe on our campus. Their presence enriches student learning and creates an environment of collaborative learning and problem solving that is the very essence of the new Polytechnic. Now, in recent months, several members of the Rensselaer community have expressed to me their concern over the movement to boycott Israeli academic institutions. I share their apprehension. We believe that academic boycotts undermine academic freedom and the type of international research and educational collaborations Rensselaer encourages with institutions around the world. We will not support such boycotts. And we will continue to build partnerships with our partners, with universities and research institutions around the world. As well, several of the global companies that hire our graduates have expressed enthusiasm at the prospect, in fact, of having our students as interns for a longer period, and we are working with them to create opportunities specifically for Rensselaer juniors, including international opportunities. When our students return to campus after their semester away, obviously they will have had new experiences and will be able to forge new connections. And when they graduate after the summer arch, we expect them to be in even greater demand with employers and graduate schools, although Rensselaer graduates already are in great demand. And finally, let me talk about one last subject, which really relates to the student experience, but especially outside the classroom. We currently are reorganizing our division of student life to strengthen the student experience in every aspect. We are creating 5 departments, 4 of which will be led by assistant vice presidents that focus on key aspects of life at Rensselaer. The student life portfolio is a huge portfolio, as it must be. First, the new Student Transitions Department includes pipeline initiatives, student orientation, services for transfer students, the Office of the Registrar, and the Center for Career and Professional Development. And also we'll have a focused effort relating to the summer arch. It's about transitioning into Rensselaer, the pivot point that the summer arch represents, and transitioning out into their careers. Second, our Student Success Department encompasses the offices of the first-year experience, undergraduate class deans, the Dean of the Graduate Experience, and the Archer Center for Student Leadership Development. And when we talk about student success, we mean interventions that lift students to success who need that help and intervention. But most of our students are fine, but anyone can have a need for a helping hand at any given time. And for students who do not need that, it means building success on the success they already have. And the Archer Center will be expanding the programming they do to help our students grow in their leadership characteristics. Third, the Campus Experience Department will oversee living and learning environments, student rights and responsibilities, and judicial affairs, and the Rensselaer Union. Now, with this new department, our goal is to create greater synergies among all parts of the student experience, and we are intent not on taking away autonomy, but on strengthening the autonomous, marvelous, historical, special student-run union, which we do consider to be one of the defining characteristics of the Rensselaer student experience. Fourth, the Student Support and Resource Centers Department includes student health and wellness services, veteran and military student services, which is a new endeavor that we're giving to give focus both to yellow ribbon students and to our ROTC students. It will include religious affairs and multicultural programs. And the fifth department is our great NCAA athletics, under the leadership of Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics, Dr. Lee McElroy. Now, offering a framework for all of our efforts in student life is clustered learning advocacy and support for students, or CLASS, through which we connect students to each other and to the larger Rensselaer and rural community. Now, since the reality is that our students live here, and by that I mean they live in our housing, they live in affiliated housing in the Greek system, or they live proximate to the campus. They live here, and they grow here. And so this clustering is both residential and time or developmentally based. In fact, all first and second year students live in tight-knit communities centered in their residence halls with live-in assistant deans And that's true for all of the first-year students. And then as they go into sophomore year, it's true for most of them, or in the Greek Life Commons, for those Greek houses that have a Greek Commons agreement with the university. And if later in their college careers they choose to live off campus, they are still connected through our Greek Life or our off-campus commons. Now, the off-campus commons has had both a philosophical and an actual meaning, but indeed we are establishing a physical off-campus commons on 15th Street as a physical place, a place where off-campus students, beyond what they do at the union, can gather for class-based programs. They can take breaks between classes, hold events, and importantly, catch a safe ride home. Time-based clustering allows us to offer programming and experiences designed for each stage of an undergraduate college career. And when our students are freshmen, our class programming largely focuses on developing awareness of an issue. As they grow here, we increasingly expect our students to lead and to offer them opportunities to do so. Now, we educate our students with the full expectation that they will change the world, as our graduates have done for centuries. If creativity is, as Steve Jobs said, just connecting things, among the most important connections that we are able to foster and must foster at Rensselaer are those that span the generations. And so I want to thank all of our alumni and alumnae for returning for reunion and homecoming, for demonstrating to our students how valuable their education truly is, for serving as examples for them, and for modeling for them their own freedom to discover, to invent, to innovate, and to lead, each in his or her own way. So thank you very much.